I've noticed that you sometimes play sixths. Maybe that's where your country influenced this.
That's an old blues sound, man, that I heard long before I ever heard country music.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The average guy, the average blues player, this...
That's it.
I can't do it that well. But let me change key. Say I'm in G.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times it comes in handy when you, well, you know, blues, a dominant seventh is always one of the great sounds for blues music. So if you're getting ready to change, so you're getting ready to go to your four chord then.
Yeah.
And it'll lay on that.
Turn, you land right on the dominant, on the flat seventh of the chord. And that's hitting the 5, and then the 4, using the same chord fragment. Yeah.
So I heard that from the blues players long. Lonnie Johnson did that. Blind Lemon did it. All of those guys back then. Barbecue Bob, and I could just name you a whole lot. Charlie Patton. So I heard that long before I heard country, but I love country music. The sounds, though, those triad sounds, have always been in my head, still stay there. Because the gospel songs that I used to play and sing in, well, you know, we still use triads. In fact, just a little taste of diminish on rare tunes. Rare, I mean, it had to be something that's supposed to be a tune with a lot of changes, you know, so it's rare. And you know, even today, that country and gospel sound is still in my head. So any tune that I may play that's bluesy, real bluesy, you still dissect it and you'll find the gospel in the country right there, because that was the beginning of me. And if anything get a little complicated today, when I say complicated, I mean beyond, well, in other words, when the chords become altered, you play enough flatted 5s or augmented whatever it may be, and I don't hear them too well. They sound foreign. It's like speaking a different language.
Do you think those chords take away from the authenticity of the earlier styles?
Well, for me, I've always tried to continue to advance. This never did kill me just to stay. I like it.
Yeah.
Now that's what I first heard. I like this.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be satisfied with just thumb picks and doing that.
Yeah.
Especially when I saw other people using the plectrum.
Right.
So that's when I said, if it kills me, I'm going to learn to use it. So I learned, but this one is, this is not a medium, this is a high.
Use a heavy pick.
Heavy pick.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I use a heavy pick is because I can hit them pretty hard. But for speed, one could use a lighter pick, smaller, and I'm sure it'd be much faster, but I, kind of like an old saying once, animals up a tree eating grapes, and the animal that couldn't climb the tree yelled up at the others, said, "Throw some grapes down." They say, "You want them? Come get them." He knew he couldn't climb the tree, so he said, "Well, they sour anyway." Well, that's the way I am. I can't play that fast, so I rather have the hard pick. And other words, I compensate the slowness, precise, I call myself saying. Other words, substitute, I should say, and that for the speed.
Speaking of picking, do you mostly pick down, or do you pick up or down, or
More times down than up.
you find more
My
control
later
that way?
years, more control, but I would much rather be able to do, you know, up and down. If I'm trying to run a scale, I use it.
Right.
But a lot of times when the pressure's on me and I want to make sure that I don't miss this. So if I try to, it doesn't come out as well.
Doesn't sound the same.
Yeah, not to me.
It has a lot more authority, a lot more
Yeah,
bite to it. Yeah.
right. So see, it doesn't matter too much now,
Yeah.
because you've said what you wanted to say,
Right.
but that's another thing that when we was talking, I didn't mention. To keep this going a little bit, I
we
hit
go.
it and pull it again.
Maybe we should do that a little slower so
Okay.
that. So you start on the. Where's that?
Start with that D
On the
there.
D, right?
D to the F,
To the F, to the
G
D,
to the B flat,
flat, right?
to the C,
And then you bend that.
bend it, and then I kick it again with my
You
finger.
pull it off with your third finger to the first finger. I see. And then you resolve
Go
it
back to
here.
the G again.
Right. That's a signature idea of yours. Yeah. That's
Now,
wonderful.
if you ask me how I came about it,
Yeah. I was going to.
I don't know how to tell you, but it's there.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot. Again, we go back to my ears tell me that that sounds pretty good. Because it resolved back on the G again.
Right.
I'm not good with my right hand, like, especially like a lot of contemporary players. Boy, they got them chops, and I just wished I could do, you know. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know, like this.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So I have to make best with what I got.
Yeah.
What I got. So what I'll do a lot of times to cheat a little bit. Let's see. Intentionally.
Yeah. So what is it exactly that you do? Because that is such a signature blues sound.
Well, I was told a long time ago that two tones, if you cup your hand, put your hand on the strings and hold it, you're hitting a lot of the strings,
Right.
but not making a sound on them, with the exception of
the last note.
that make these two down here sound bigger because of when you do strike them.
Yeah.
It seem like the ears are waiting, you know, what you got, when is it coming, you know,
Right.
and then finally, there it is. Well, that's what I'm pretty good with,
Right.
putting this part of, the fat part of my hand on this.
So you mute the strings with your
Mute
right
it,
hand,
mute
not
it.
with your left hand.
Not with my left.
And do you usually hold a chord form when you do the rake? Because I see you holding the C chord there when.
I usually will hold the chord
Yeah.
for him, yes. That's so the minute that I reach the end here,
Right.
I got it here on the left hand. So my right hand is not so good with even the downstroke. I've got to be very careful. I'll miss strings from time to time. You probably heard me fluff a lot of them. I don't seem, you know, it's supposed to be there. Where is it? You know, this is what my hand is saying. But my later years, in the last 10 or 15 years, I guess, I've did more up and down picking than ever before. I've wanted to do it. I've practiced doing it. But
When you do a rake downward, you do a rake upwards too, don't you?
rarely. The
Rarely?
rake upward was like, that's the only time.
That's a great. So what are you doing there? Hey, might as well, right?
Yeah. Well, I first, most times, come down with that muted sound.
And then you're going from major to minor, I see. You're holding a major chord form. And when going back down, you're hitting the minor arpeggio. I see. That's such a signature sound. I'm glad we're covering it.
But the way I play, I guess, if I'm playing in major or minor, for instance, if I'm in C like I am now, C major,
right.
But if I was going to play...
You stay on the flat at third a lot. Yeah.
That's the way I hear it.
That's it.